ATP, what it do is your boy Claymore Rain back at you guys with another one. Well, it's the end of the event. Abdullah Mason performs in rare form, right? I mean, in normal form. This is what he normally does. Takes out Nakatili, I think, inside of 5 rounds, right? Um, just overpowered, way too focused, way too sharp. Nakatili really not able to make anything um relevant or significant happen in the fight. Abdullah Mason just staying defensively sound in this fight, very sharp, dedicated to the body, and ultimately end up causing enough damage to where Nakatsu's corner had to go ahead and stop the fight in between rounds. But as great as that is, and Abdullah Mason's next step is going to be grand. We can talk about that another time. It looks like the Davis brothers having a horrible, just I guess you could say a horrible night, a horrible week. Keyshawn Davis not making weight, obviously, and having his fight canceled, dealing with a lack of discipline. And Keon Davis had a great evening, stopped his opponent inside of 2 rounds with a beautiful body shot. Great evening for him. Kelvin Davis loses his fight against Nahir Albright. And, there was some sportsmanship inside the ring, but it looks like it didn't carry over in the backstage area as Abdullah Mason was fighting against Jeremiah Nakatilia in the backstage, from what I understand, from what's being told. Keon and Keyshawn Davis were getting into a melee with Nahir Albright, ultimately ended up jumping Nahir Albright, putting a knot on his head. Doesn't look good for the Davis brothers, right? They're crashing out. It looks like they're crashing out. There's definitely some sort of a lack of discipline going on there. I don't know if they were participating in, drinking or other uh recreational activities that might have, you know, put a little bit of shadow over their better judgment. But this is not looking good in their own home city to not only have a loss for one of the brothers, but obviously have Keyshawn Davis not um make weight, and then to end the evening in, I guess, from the outside looking in, looks like it was some unsportsmanlike conduct where on the back end of a loss that Kelvin Davis took to here Albright. I guess the other two brothers didn't take to it very nicely, met him backstage, got into it, ultimately ended up making it a physical affair. Nahir Albright being offered an interview and basically said that he wants to get it back in blood. He wants him and Keyshawn to square it away, get that rematch in the ring. We know how the first fight went. Keyshawn Davis did get a close split decision, but it ultimately was turned into a no contest, right? Due to Keyshawn Davis using marijuana. So let's see how it pans out. It is interesting to watch Keyshawn Davis kind of go through it. He seems to be a leader of his family, right? And wherever he goes, they seem like they'll follow. And what kind of examples he really putting out there, as an ambassador of Ring Magazine, and, an ambassador tonight, specifically in Norfolk, Virginia. What exactly does Keyshawn Davis represent, and how is he showing himself, and how's his brand taking a hit um, off of his own actions, the way he's carrying himself, right? Listen, these fighters all come 9 out of 10 times with things outside of boxing ring that they're dealing with, anger issues, like I said earlier in another video I did, coming up from complicated backgrounds that aren't just black and white, and these guys aren't just wired the same as everybody else. So untamed and uncontrolled, with no real coping mechanism set in place for them to deal with these issues, these emotional outbursts can come out and manifest into what we see happening tonight. Not only with Keyshawn Davis obviously not making it on the scale, but also a lack of emotional control, to even control where his hands go, to even control where his body goes. Because why were you even back there, anywhere near the Albright section or area after his victory? You would have thought they would have been more focused on being closer to Kelvin Davis and letting him know to keep his head up, and you get him next time, right? But that's not what ended up happening. So I'm sure the story will develop. We haven't heard anything from Keyshawn Davis's side of the conversation. Keon and Keyshawn just heard exclusively what happened through and from Nahir Albright's side of the story. So maybe there's more to it. Most of the time there is. But right now, it does look bad for the Davis brothers. Guys, let me know what you think. Put in the comments. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. What do you think? Is this an emotional breakdown? Are they imploding as a unit? Is DB3 going through it? Is Keyshawn Davis going through it specifically? Keon Davis, like I said, had a great night. I don't see why he would be upset outside of the fact that he's loyal to his brother. But yeah, they crashing out tonight, man. Let me know what you think, man. Congratulations to Abdullah Mason. Can't wait to see what his next fight's going to be. I assume it'll be for a title shot for that vacant WBO title. And also interested in seeing what's next for the Davis brothers. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Until the next one, it's your boy Rain, ATP Combat Media Show. And at the end of the day, at this point, we're out.